They say the saddest sound in the world is a mother's cry. But in the town of Gravenmoor, it wasn't the mothers who cried. It was the children, crying, singing, laughing, at night. Not from their beds, not from their houses, but from the woods. Ask anyone who lived there if you can still find them, and they'll tell you the same thing. The children of Gravenmoor did not run away. They did not get lost. They were taken by something that sang to them. Something that smiled through the cracks of bedroom windows. Something that left behind only black handprints, scorched into walls like brands of ownership. And if you think these are just old legends, fairy tales meant to scare, then tell me this. Why does Gravenmoor no longer exist? Chapter 1. The vanishing of Lena Harlow's year was 1972, early autumn. The valley was already dipped in gold, leaves shivering loose from crooked branches, when Lena Harlow, 8 years old, disappeared. Her mother swore she kissed her goodnight, swore the window was locked, swore the girl was safe. But by morning, Lena's bed was empty. The search turned the town upside down. Barns, basements, haylofts, attics, every inch of the surrounding forest. They found no footprints, no broken latch, no sign of struggle, only a handprint, high on the wall above Lena's headboard, charred black into the wood, stretched and too large for any man. That was the first. Chapter 2. The pattern emerges 3 weeks later. It was Evan Price, age 6, taken from a locked room, parents asleep across the hall, window unbroken. Another handprint, this one on the ceiling. By winter, 5 children were gone, and every time, the same story. No sound, no struggle, no explanation. But people whispered about the lullabies. Parents began waking in the middle of the night, hearing faint singing, a soft, lilting melody, like a mother rocking her baby. But when they checked their houses, the sound wasn't inside. It was outside, drifting from the woods, and their children stirred. Some were found standing at windows, glass fogged from their breath, staring into the dark. Others were caught trying to unlatch the doors, murmuring about someone calling their name. One boy said his sister, missing for 2 months, had been whispering to him from the trees, begging him to come play. Chapter 3. The elders' secret. When the 7th child vanished, the elders of Gravenmoor called a meeting in the old church basement. Candles flickered, shadows jittered against stone. That was when the truth spilled. The valley, they said, was cursed. Long before the first settlers, it had been home to a coven of demons that fed not on flesh, but on innocence. They could not cross into the mortal world without permission. But children, with their open hearts and unguarded dreams, were doorways waiting to be unlocked. The demons sang, the children listened, and one by one, they followed.
They don't kill them, one elder muttered. They claim them. Chapter 4. The parents' desperation panic took root. Some families hammered iron crosses to their doors. Others scattered salt across windowsills. Some even chained their children to beds. But none of it mattered. The lullabies threaded through walls, through chains, through the thickest prayers whispered into trembling palms. One mother, half mad with grief, burned her own house to the ground to keep her child safe from the voices. Neighbors watched in horror as flames swallowed the home, the sound of a little girl's scream piercing the night. But when the embers cooled, there was no body, only a blackened handprint etched into the stone of the fireplace. Chapter 5. The Blackwoods' bravest men of the town, hunters, farmers, fathers, armed themselves and entered the woods. They came back pale, eyes hollow, unable to speak of what they'd seen. One finally broke. He told of seeing his missing son, standing beneath a crooked tree, pale and still. When he called to him, the boy opened his mouth and black moth poured out. Another swore the trees themselves moved, bending like watchers, their bark etched with faces that opened and shut like mouths gasping soundlessly. None of them ever went back. Chapter 6. The 13th night. It was the 13th night after the last child vanished when the lullabies stopped. For the first time in months, silence held the valley. Families dared to hope maybe it was over. But then, the church bell rang. By itself, every window in town shattered. Dogs wailed and then fell silent. And when the townsfolk looked outside, they saw them. Dozens of children, standing in perfect rows at the edge of the forest, skin pale, eyes black, smiling to wide. They began to sing not lullabies, but hymns, deep, guttural chants in languages no one recognized. And then, behind them, something moved, tall, bent. its limbs too long, fingers like knives, skin like ash. The demon shepherd had come to collect what it owned. Chapter 7. The end of Gravenmoor that winter. Every child in Gravenmoor was taken. Houses emptied, schools closed. Playgrounds stood silent, swaying in the cold wind with no one to ride them. Some families fled, others stayed, too afraid or too proud to leave the land their blood had built. But all of them heard the same thing in the nights that followed. The singing. Only now, it wasn't children's voices. It was deeper, darker. The demons had found their choir, and it sang forever. Epilogue of Gravenmoor is gone now. Roads rerouted, maps erased. But hikers who pass through the valley swear they hear it still. Faint lullabies on the wind. If you ever do, take this warning. Do not stop. Do not listen. And above all, never follow the voices of children into the trees. For once you hear them clearly, they already belong to you.